Welcome to Straight from the Muzzle, folks, where we're anything but straight. My name is Space.
And I'm Ruby.
And we welcome you to our episode, which is about what today?
It is about furries and esports in the LGBTQ community.
Yay! And we're not just doing just that topic alone. We're actually bringing on an expert. Do you want to introduce our guests for us?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I can. Our special guest today is Phos, and I'll let them do their full introduction and credentials.
Hi, I'm Phos. I work at a university where I'm the director of esports. I have been playing video games for almost my whole life since I was like 10. And eventually I realized I could get a job at it. And that's when it all started. I am also a furry. I wouldn't be on this. I'd like to think I wouldn't be on this podcast if I wasn't, affiliated with the community in some way. And I'm a member of the LGBTQ plus community. I am non-binary, trans feminine, and certainly not straight. So I guess that's, what other credentials do I need? Am I missing something?
No.
That works.
So you initially sent me an email back in December of last year.
Yes. Way back when.
And you brought this idea up, and I'm like, this has been kind of tossed around, but I wasn't sure how to even do it. And so I thought, you know what? This might be a good opportunity to bring someone who is well-versed in this particular topic. And then I was like, well, crap, who do I know on my team that knows stuff about esports? Because I don't. So initially it was supposed to be Ruby and Bix, but for just the sake of scheduling everything out, it just worked out for Ruby. So
I feel special.
4 people is so hard to record with. Sometimes there's 4 lines and I feel, oh my God, so bad for the editor at that point. So,
okay. Well,
let's get into it. How does internet culture view the furries?
Oh gosh. That's right from the get-go. I mean, that's a really tough one. I mean,
you were the one that wrote it, didn't you?
No, I did. But I mean, it's heavy from the get-go because
it really is.
Yeah,
the internet doesn't really like furries, and I don't know where all the hate comes from. But you'll see people. The big thing is you'll see videos of people who are like, here's a furry convention and all the weird stuff that happens there, and it's definitely with a derisive tone and stuff. And then there's videos on Twitter. I'm dead naming Twitter and YouTube where people are posting about oh, I met this fursuiter in public and I was trying to antagonize him with questions. And I've seen so many videos of that where people are trying to be deliberately leading or make people look.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know why. There's people are so kind. The one video I saw, I forget who it was, but the fursuiter was signing in sign language alongside, which was so cool to see.
Oh God, that video. I know exactly which video you're talking about. Yeah. It's so cute and wholesome. It's why?
Right.
Why?
It's clickbaited. Genuinely, a lot of the stuff is just clicks because, unfortunately, the furry community is very, very much pointed at and looked at with a lot of scrutiny and by a lot of different people. It's rough. There's content on YouTube of if you just search furry on YouTube, you'll get the first 5 videos is Joe Rogan on furries, which, first of all, insane that's a video that exists. But then you keep scrolling and it's just TikTok compilations and son, what's a furry, which is definitely just all these videos that are specifically designed to be
I just want to note you're not wrong about the first video that comes up.
Yeah. It really is Joe Rogan.
It's Joe Rogan on furries, which taken out of context is hysterical.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Mine's the one from Vice, The Truth About Furries. Fandom is not a fetish.
No, I got Joe Rogan, and then 4th down is Dan's first animatronic furry experience with Game Grumps.
Let me try. Oh, there's the Joe Rogan. Now I see it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see if it would work, and it worked.
Yep.
I don't understand why our community is so bagged on, though. You look at the anime community. I mean, look at half of the content of those comics. They got freaking characters with boobs that are bigger than their whole freaking body. Why aren't people worried about that? Why are they so focused on this wholesome community that we have, which I'll admit is not 100% wholesome. Okay. But no community is.
No community's perfect either. Like
No.
everyone has their faults. Like, and the whole thing is that the furry community has been so held to this high standard for calling out these faults because otherwise everyone gets demonized. The whole concept is like you have to be held to the highest standard possible, which is it's incomprehensible to be under like that much pressure in every situation, right? Like it's crazy.
But then I guess if you look at it, if we're being held to a higher standard than most other communities, that also might not be a bad thing. That means that, I mean, it's a high standard for us all to live at, but I mean, at least we're on top.
Well, I mean,
true. Yeah.
We brought it up before when we were talking, and it was, I think the answer is anime has a tangible media. My Little Pony has a tangible media. Here's
Furries
what
don't.
you have. We are so abstract that people don't know what to do with us. So they immediately either go the super cute and wholesome or the vilest of vile. I mean, yes, you have anime characters that have boobs bigger than most than their entire body. We have a horse that has the same thing, but they don't understand why the horse exists.
Oh my god, that fursuit!
I love her. She is the she is the sweetest, most wholesome person I've ever seen. I love her.
I want to get a hug where my face is just smashed in the
yes.
Oh my gosh!
But
I know exactly what you're talking about. Too.
Yeah. But it's that exact thing of like anime fans. I have several Funko Pops and stuff next to me of anime characters. It's a tangible media where yes, there's this, but you also can see things like Fluffy Paradise, which is the cutest anime on the planet Earth. Highly recommend it. But furries, they don't understand because the only media presence we have is like CSI.
That's true. Which I think is a hilarious episode, by the way.
Oh, it is. And that actually was the first episode where I was watching it. My mom was there watching it. Because they're disgusting. It's like, oh, I'm not telling you that information, am I?
Yeah.
Because at that point, I was already a furry.
Yeah.
I'll let you believe everything you see on CSI. We'll see how far that gets you in life.
Yeah. But I think that's the thing of it is the tangible media we have out there and the tangible media the other fandoms have is very different.
Like we are creating our own media within the furry community. Like it's not based on anything. It well and truly is like
straight from our brains.
Creating. Right.
Yeah.
Straight from our brains and then straight from the muzzle. Roll credits.
Yay!
Roll credits. He said the name.
We're done. All right. Go. No, I'm just kidding.
But it's you just there's no way for anybody to tangibly. We're trying to put media out there, but it gets blown out of proportion. You have people out there like Ash Coyote, Picari, and all them trying to put positive out there, but then you have just people misunderstanding it.
And I think that's the genuine thing. I think people, I mean, just what they don't understand can sometimes worry them or frustrate them. And then they go searching for the bad because they don't want to look for the good. And that ends up always down a bad alley. And of course they're going to find things that they're not supposed to find.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
once you have the half-formed opinions, then it starts like rebounding into other areas too. Like then like in the gaming side of things, and like you'll log on to like Roblox or VR chat or just like anything that has like customizable avatars. And then because it's the creation of media that's like keeping that is the crux of the furry community, then you have people who have created their own VR chat avatars, their own Roblox games and such. And then people get harassed over it. It's like, oh, I'm going to log on to this Roblox game and start calling everyone names because they're being fucking weird. Haha. I mean, when in reality, like they're just having a good time and you're actually the one invading their space for no reason.
That falls under, I guess for lack of better terms, the Jake and Logan Paul thing of like, I'm going to go in there and do something incredibly stupid and hateful. And I'm going to get like the 2 minutes of clickbait and look, my name is out there and I made all these people look like idiots. That's the whole purpose of it. They have
hear anything about the Paul brothers, it just sets this fire inside me.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm like Mrs. White from Clue. I'm just like, it burns, it's hot, and she's just trying to flames on the side of my head. That's what I think. Like,
yeah, it actually took me a minute to remember both of their names because I don't give a shit about them.
No, actually, I just know one of them is gonna fight Mike Tyson for some reason, and I really hope it's gonna be as funny as I hope it is.
I really hope Mike Tyson just throws a punch and he falls.
No, it's actually the game theory looked at it, and it's probably going to be it's completely a rigged fight. It's gonna Logan will probably win, but it'll go as long as it physically can. It's not even worth it.
Boo.
Yeah. Give us content.
But it's you have those people out there like, and it's the same thing of like you type in furries. In a perfect world, Ash Coyote's documentary would come up first, or This Is Life with Lisa Ling would come up first.
Oh, we talked about that one.
Something positive would come up, but no, it's fucking Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
You got to go down a few videos to at least hit Dan and Aaron, who are the funniest two people on the planet Earth.
And then you keep scrolling and you see videos about like people animating videos where they just like kill furries. Like this is a legitimate thing that like one specific content creator has just made a whole bunch of videos on for no reason, and it's fully animated. Like why would you put your time and effort into hating the community? And it's for clicks. It's for clicks, and that's all it is. And it's just.
I mean,
and unfortunately, the whole YouTube algorithm makes it so that it plays out in their favor, which makes it even worse.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. They're rewarded for it. It's rewarding the behavior.
To pull, and this is actually to pull it into the LGBTQ community. It's like any and every time I post anything about transgender anything, I have a list of people coming after me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, are y'all seriously just spending your entire life waiting for me to post something so that you can spew hatred, hoping that you'll make me feel bad? Fuck you. I love looking at the levels and the level in the sound bit for the word fuck you. I love that. I'm watching this, but it's people who have nothing else to do in their life seek out hate, and that's what they're doing.
Well, and I think because like we're so LGBTQIA plus positive in our community, that also paints a target on our back, not on purpose. It just is a big target. Like I remember one time we created an Instagram account and we were posting some, like, hey, this is what's coming up. And then we were posting this one episode that we had questions we want people to like join in on. And it was about being sex positive. And I kid you not, within 15 minutes of that post going, our account was flagged like 1,000 to 2,000 times, and then we were shut down. We were even given a chance to make our case. Everyone went and flagged it like crazy. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, you don't even care about this. Just leave it alone.
I posted about being in a lesbian relationship with my wife, and oh my God, I had to delete the original post.
Lesbian lovers?
I had to, because the sheer amount of hate I was getting, I could not keep up with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so I just went back and deleted it.
Too bad of an experience so far. But I feel like I feel like this podcast will make it easier for me to respond to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an outlet, right, where you can address it in like a safe and comfortable way, right?
Yeah, and also the people who are doing the clickbait, they're in a vacuum chamber where no one's challenging them, so they wouldn't have that level of confidence in person.
Well, right, and that's why it proliferates so much online, because you're sitting behind a screen. You don't think that there's an actual person there. You don't realize that there's another human being with like skin and flesh and like an actual form behind the screen. It's pixels, right? Mm-hmm. And so like the communities online where people go in and just like, they're just like, oh, I bet you like on like any game with voice chat. If you go into any game with voice chat, you'll find homophobia, transphobia, misogyny. Like furry hate is a little more difficult unless the game specifically has like skins or stuff that maybe reflect the furry community more. But like there is plenty of hate in online games, and it's an epidemic. There's so many videos of women who are playing like Valorant or Counter-Strike or League of Legends or anything where there's a voice chat and they load into the voice chat and immediately it's just like, oh, like death threats and misogyny and go make me a sandwich jokes, which were never funny and were also literally the only thing that people said back in 2010. Like it's gross how the hate never changes. I feel like that's like not great to say that like, oh, the hate never changes, but like it just shows that like there's no actual thought behind it. It's
they have no new material ever.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
How is it that in the modern era that we're in, people are still stuck in that mindset? Like, I still occasionally will watch a video where there is a VTuber female that's gaming and someone will like ask a question. It'll be like, hey, you need to go back to the kitchen. And I'm just like, what the hell?
Like, they're just chilling. Why?
The bad part is the response that only response that pops into my head is, "I've already been there. Your girlfriend says hi."
That's good.
That's good. That's good.
But I also had to learn running my own channel how to do comebacks because you don't get very, you have to basically stall them long enough to block them. So you got to be real fast.
No, that makes perfect sense. I'm gonna be honest. I play League of Legends. I play Valorant. I've dabbled in Rocket League and Overwatch and all these other games. So I have gained kind of a thick skin, and I have a set of like one or two things that I'll always put in chat to like humble the people who are in there. Mainly because I don't care, and I think that less people should care about the game to as much of an extent of, you know, throwing hate towards other people. But like that's also just, you know, endemic within the video game community of people getting mad at their game and getting mad at themselves and then taking it out on everyone in a 5-foot radius, right?
Yep.
I think a game that's fun that pokes fun at furries, but it's not like severe hate or anything, is Saints Row.
Really, I've never played Saints Row.
It's so good.
I haven't either, and I'm
Saints
writing that
Row
down.
basically is just a mockery of what is that game? It's
Grand Theft Auto?
Thank you. It's a mockery of Grand Theft Auto in like a very comedic way. But they have like these suits that you can wear, like these like animal suits, and they're so ridiculous. And then you have like these giant like dick dildos that you can like smash people with. I mean,
yeah,
there's
I have
so
I have
much
a
fun to
secret
play
for
with.
you. You can do that in Grand Theft Auto Online.
Well, I've tried playing Grand Theft Auto. I don't really like it. It's not my cup of tea.
that's a secret. I know how to get the dildo power up in every video game. That's my
Always.
secret.
That's how you're supposed. That's what you should do.
Exactly.
But see, here's the thing when it comes to how the internet views the furries. It's not a one-way street. It's a two-way street. We're also responsible for some of the stuff that goes on. Like, for instance, when fursuiters are caught doing stupid things in the public eye. Okay, well, now you've given the rest of the world the ammo they need to go ahead and take on and make fun of us and poke fun or bring the hate. Like, we kind of...
You got the other side of that, which is like, you look at Lethal Company. Lethal Company, one of the biggest games right now was created by a furry who made Roblox games before opening up into making Lethal Company. And it has now outsold Call of Duty on Steam, right? And the game was made by a furry, which is like, and every time I go on Twitter, godforsaken website, by the way, absolutely hate it there. Every time I go on there and I see anything related to Lethal Company, it's like, wow, this creator is doing incredible stuff. You know, they're only 22 and they're a furry. It's like, it feels like it's a negative thing to be like, wow, and they're a furry, but they did this really cool and awesome thing. Like, but in reality, in another way, I do like seeing that because it's giving credit where credit is due, right? Like there's oh my gosh, who was the professor? I saw there was a professor at a university who was talking about
Professor X.
No. And he had a fursuit. Oh my gosh, hang on. And he was responsible for like cardiology, heart rate tracking software on your smartwatch. I'm gonna take a second to Google this, but like there's all and he's gone on stage to talk about.
Oh god, this game was made by. Oh my god, it didn't click when you said Lethal Company, and I went and looked it up. Yeah. Oh my god, this is on my to play list, like way up there.
No, it's a great game. Like I love it. It's been so much fun. And
it just the name did not click at first, and now it did, and it's like holy shit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I want to. I can't find the. Yes, Dr. David Benaron is an American entrepreneur and physician, digital health entrepreneur physician, and he helped his work in the field of medical optical imaging. Yes, I'm reading right off the Wikipedia thing. Digital health wearables and predictive behavior and health artificial intelligence led to the founding of multiple public companies. And he helped basically make smartwatches, and he's a furry. Like, there's a PC Mag article that's literally just titled, "Your Smartwatch's Heart Rate Monitor was developed by a furry." And I know we're kind of digressing from the main point here, which is gaming. But like, its context is like, these are amazing things that people in the furry community have done.
Yeah.
There's that I can't remember what his name is, but he's a lawyer and he's also a furry at the same time.
Boozy.
Yeah, Boozy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a cool thing to have.
Boozy Badger. I love the man. I love him. He's amazing. Awesome. I've met him a few times.
It's so funny when I can't remember what I was looking at,
but then you have what in Doc Hyena one. I know we have pathologists, we have Kage, we have like high level professionals in the fandom, but
and there's also a huge amount of tech, people in the fandom too that have higher tech jobs as well. And it's kind of funny. I was reading something and saying that furries technically run the tech industry. I'm like, I have to look into this.
There's a photo of a bunch of fursuiters on a plane. Like they've taken up the whole cabin.
Oh, I've seen that one.
I object to that many furries on the plane because if it goes down, it'll cripple the entire U.S. computer system. It's so accurate. And there's what was that other one where it's just like there was a furry who's commissioned like so much art of their character, and then it came out that the only reason it might be a furry. I could be misremembering this. I remember it's like just the only reason that they were able to commission so much was because they were like a heart surgeon or something. Like I feel like there's one in every fandom. Who like of someone who just has a really like high power position, but like I digress, right?
Yeah. But that also feeds into still feed into the if you have all these amazing people doing incredible things, but then you have that one idiot and they go, well, those idiots are there too. It's again, they don't know what to do with us they don't have a baseline to deal with.
Yeah.
You either have
high standards.
You either have like high level or really dumb Griffin. I shouldn't have to say the name out loud.
Oh my god. That guy is such a dick. I've met him in person.
I have to. I actually I hate to say
do you know who we're talking about, Phos?
I don't think I do.
I'm typing it in the chat because I'm not saying his name.
That is A-okay. I will not speak the name. It's like
because I don't want to admit out loud that I was a fan of his.
Back when we were called for media, we did like live videos and stuff. We were told we had this guy who's like, oh, you should meet this guy. He's really cool. He's really informational. So I met him at MFF and he kind of reminded me, I don't know, Dr. What's his face from Sonic, but he had like red glasses on.
Mm-hmm.
His hands were kind of like, he definitely was a smoker, but you can tell that like he doesn't clean his fingernails that well. Like these are things that I notice on people like right on the bat. But he was just like talking, and then all of a sudden he's just like, hold on. And like he starts talking to someone else. And I'm like, hello, I was having a conversation with you. Don't just cut me off to talk to someone else. That's so rude. And then there was these other interactions we had. I'm like, this guy is a dick. So, we're not having him on the show. Hell no.
Yeah. At his best, he was absolutely hysterical. At his meh, he's absolutely hysterical. Problem is at his worst, he's an absolute monster. So,
it's one of those rough situations.
But I posted his thing in the Zencaster chat as the name. So
I see that. But but the thing is, like again, like every fandom has those kind of people where there's always one. What's it like? One bad apple spoils a bunch or something. Like
exactly.
If you don't address it as a problem, then it becomes the community not addressing it is a problem, right? So that's why again, that's that whole concept of being held as a community to higher standards to call out all of this, right? Where it's like all the stuff that happens around like the furry community has unequivocally disowned like zoophilia and all these like horrible behaviors because that's the thing that people associate with the furry community. And if we don't call it out as a community, then it's like it becomes emblematic, right? Like in these videos where people are going around hating on people, and so it's bad, and we don't like it in our community, and we don't like being associated with it as a community. So there's just like all the hate for it, and just because again, there's so much cool stuff for it, and like I think really it comes back to this one comment on Steam, which is like why the community hates furries. And it comes down to homophobia.
Oh, is that the one that I put in the notes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like homophobia because the furry fandom is very, very LGBTQIA plus positive and open and accessible and inviting to, LGBTQIA plus and marginalized gendered individuals. And that apparently is an issue for some people. I will get on my soapbox and say that if you don't rock with the LGBTQIA plus community, if you don't support the LGBTQIA plus community, you are a piece of shit, because we're just people. We're trying to live our lives and just be happy, and we're not causing problems. We literally only got what was it? It was like 2015, 2005. When did gay marriage become legal in the United States?
2015.
I thought it was between 2010 and 2015. Not that
Something
long ago.
Like that. Yeah. No, it was not that long ago. Which is, first of all, fucking insane.
Yes.
Right.
But beyond the point, like all the hate still exists. So
yeah, I mean, currently
for the LGBTQIA plus community.
Currently, all three of us are illegal in Florida. So
yeah.
Well, apparently, it's also illegal to say climate change in Florida as well. So
oh God,
there you go.
Well, I mean,
I read that article and I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, they're afraid. The head of it all is just afraid that we're going to just blame him for all the hot air he blows out. And I'm going to leave it up to you which Floridian I'm talking about.
I was going to say, it's strangely validating to see that Florida views me as a real being in the same way that climate change is real. So you know what? I am real, just like the Earth is warming right now.
I mean, let's put it like, in just people in my everyday life, me existing upsets and threatens their well-being. I'm cool with it, honestly.
Yeah.
If I live that rent-free in their head.
Threat. Yeah. No, but then the post, returning to the post, like the homophobia, because the LGBTQIA plus community is so welcomed within the furry community and the furry fandom. And then beyond that is the next subhead is zoophilia, bestiality, and other misconceptions, where it's like some people believe that this is something that the entire furry community stands for and really enjoys. And to be quite honest, that is unequivocally false. It's not, and it's gross, and like 99.9% of any human, much less 99.9% of the furry fandom will agree with you on that. Of course, there are disgusting and gross people out there who are okay with that. And again, the furry community calls it out.
And it doesn't help that there are furries in the community that do practice in zoophilia and bestiality. And unfortunately, that information leaks out. Thank God it doesn't happen very often. But when it does happen, it's like, it's a dark day in the fandom. And it's one day, it's a day that I just kind of turn around and be like, I'm going to go in this direction for a while, and hopefully something good will happen.
I'm going to log off Twitter. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go touch some grass. I'm going to distance myself from all of this nonsense. Yeah.
What's this? Clean air. It's air.
Oh my gosh. I can go outside. I can live my life away from being chronically online.
Go play some Pokemon Go or something like that.
Right.
I
go to the polls. But yeah, and then it goes on about the culture and the media, and like furry culture isn't like necessarily as accepted in part of mainstream culture. It is a subculture. It is a niche culture. It's a niche group. It's not something that every single person is a part of. Right.
Well, I mean, to kind of quote, I guess, Kage, we're a self-made fandom.
Exactly.
We create our own. Again, that's why they don't know what to do with us. It's not like we're not dependent on a fandom continuing. If My Little Pony, Bluey, and Pokemon were to vanish tomorrow, a fandom would continue.
Yeah.
And it would not skip a beat. I was actually having trouble coming up with a third furry fandom for some reason.
It's just a secret third thing.
It's just fascinating that we have the ability to create a persona of ourselves, and other communities, I mean, they're fans of things that already exist, but that's it. That's the sky's not the limit the sky is a limit for them, but for us, it's never ending.
Yeah. And it's always, we're even adding our own creatures. I mean, even including the protogens, the duchies. Hi. The Sodaroos, the Manakits, we ran out of animals to make furries of, so we just started making up our own fucking animals.
Yeah, we're making our fucking own.
My God.
I will say
because I said hi because I am a duchy. So, but
I was gonna say I was gonna say hi when you said protogen, because my son is a serval, but I just got a piece of protogen art I commissioned from a very, very dear friend of mine.
You're a cheese face.
I'm giving it a try. I'm giving it a try. No, serval, not circle.
Serval. Okay, sorry.
Yes.
I thought you said circle.
No, I could tell as soon as he said cheese face, I was like, hang on, hold on.
Oh, hold.
And pause, but no. Yeah, and a serval, the long, lanky kind of cat with the big old ears and they're so
I
cute.
follow
They're
some Instagram
adorable.
accounts of servals. I love the little wah, wah, like noises they make. This is so cute.
No, that's exactly why it's sorry, you're getting into my why I chose a serval for my Sona because
So
it's
cute.
oh god, they're so cute. And in real life, I truly do look like a serval. I'm skinny, I'm lanky, I do move like that. I make weird like it's beyond the point.
Yeah.
And I've commissioned so much content from my lovely artist friends. Shout out Stoat Ears for dealing with my every single request. I'll message her and I'll be like, hey, have you considered putting my Sona in like a clown costume just for shits and giggles? And she'll be like, I'm on it. And just like
that's the same way that I have with Deer Dog. So she's our resident like graphic artist for our team, and I'll be like, hey, I've got a wild idea for you.
I mean, the artwork
She'll do it.
The artwork for the Women's History Month banner, that's absolutely gorgeous, and that's me and graphics together, which I absolutely adore. So like I forget about it, then I see it again, and I'm like, oh, this is adorable, and then I'm very happy.
Yeah, we make our own content, and like on top of that, like there's a whole joke about artists, quote unquote, selling out to the furry fandom as soon as they graduate college, right? Where it's like this whole thing of like people are commissioning art and people will always continue to commission art because the fandom is self-sustaining. So it's really cool.
So speaking of like ridiculous requests to graphic artists, I'm going to post this in the notes so you can see this. So we're playing around with this idea of doing an episode where we do like a D&D game for like 2 hours. So one of the characters I came up with, I believe it's, what did I call her?
I don't know, but if no one volunteers to play her, I will.
No, that's my character that I gotta go
Okay,
find.
good. I'm making sure, because if it was just someone you threw together, I'm taking it.
No. I'm gonna go find this chat because it's so. I think it's fucking hilarious what we came up with. Here we go, the D&D Furries chat. I called her. It was like Dora the Explorer, but it was something else. Oh no, that's right. The name is Dora the Egg Explorer.
Oh my gosh.
It was a dominatrix, like it's a dominatrix, right? And so I was like, can you even draw that, dear? And she's like, I think I can whip up something. And this is what she whipped up. And I'm like, I love it.
I like nothing short of beautiful perfection. Yep.
Yeah, absolute beautiful. So we go to her for our she has a limit of things that she won't draw, but I like to test the limit every once in a while.
We push the envelope. Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Speaking of pushing the envelope, I mean, going back to what we were talking about before with like the communities and the harassment and all the things that go on, I guess kind of tying it back into gaming, like in terms of accepting communities and being accessible to communities, that's why gaming sees such a proliferation of marginalized gender individuals, LGBTQIA plus individuals, and members of the furry community. Like this is the whole reason why I'm here today is because there is so much overlap of that, which is like you've got all these games that now have furry and anthro characters and art, like Roblox, obviously, Lethal Company made by a furry. You've got like VR chat, 100%. I want to let Ruby talk about Magic the Gathering Arena.
Yeah.
That's your area.
Yeah, this is where I step in. Finally, I get my moment for Magic the Gathering.
Whatever. You get moments all the time.
Yeah, but this is actually on topic.
Oh, true. That's true.
Yeah, but yeah, even in the Magic community, which I know we do have a game called Magic the Gathering Arena, it is pretty toxic because they thought they could fix it by limiting the amount of things you can say, and some people found a way to mess with it. But in terms of the actual community, it's extremely welcoming. The assholes get weeded out very fast. But also, we're going next set, which I'm hoping to talk space into an episode of once I can get more spoilers of it, is a plane called Bloomborough. It's all furries. The storyline involves all furries. There's no humans in the set. They're even anthropomorphizing some of the characters, and I'm sucking up to Wizards of the Coast so hard right now to get into that set.
Okay, so I'm re-downloading Magic the Gathering Arena right now is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, go for it. Because they also do animations. You get. I mean, we even have pets. You get custom sleeves. All my stuff is wolf themed. because why not?
Right.
And even in
I
terms
mean,
of the Magic streaming community,
Mhm.
which I guess would still sort of fall. I mean, technically we're doing it over the internet, so let's count that into esports. All of us, when we heard about Bloomborough, the furry came out in so many of us. It's not even funny. I'm the resident furry because I literally stream with my fursuit behind me at all times.
Mhm.
But oh no, people are already making their own personas because they're creating personas for some of the main characters. And it's adorable and I'm all for it. And then leaning into like the transgender, the LGBTQ, too many letters, brain not working.
You can do it.
The LGBTQ plus community, we have entire groups dedicated to inclusion. I told you about this. Told you about them earlier. It's the Birds of Paradise, which is a group that I have so many friends in. One of my friends just got accepted into it. I'm so happy, and yeah, love her to death. And it's Birds of Paradise is female run. It doesn't matter if you're cis, trans, non. It doesn't matter. If you identify as female in some way, shape, form, or fashion, you're in. You have the Predators for Change, which is a group that took the villains of one of the storylines and turned them into the heroes. In fact, I even have a Phyrexian emblem on my tattooed on me because of that. And we do charities for mental health and Trans Lifeline and Trevor Project all the time. We even have conventions and tournaments dedicated to raising money to charities, and it's awesome. And while yes, I've created a community that's kind of a vacuum chamber, I don't deal with a lot of hate. It's awesome to have that out there. I try not to stray too far from my group because I don't want to deal with all the hate, but it's there and we take care of it when it goes up.
I mean, and you've really touched on something special there, because there's a lot more of these communities that are coming out in gaming in general. And I mean, Magic the Gathering Arena 100%, but in collegiate esports in my neck of the woods, there's a tournament called the Aurora Series, which is an entire tournament for, I think it's Overwatch, and they're also branching out into Valorant as well, where it's for marginalized gender individuals. So if you are, cisgender woman, transgender, transfemme, or transmasc, non-binary, and or gender non-conforming, which is all those marginalized groups within the esports community. And it's specifically just for those people because of all of the hate and negativity addressed towards these people in the gaming and esports community. And again, it comes down to that accessibility where it's being open to members who are LGBTQIA plus, and it's like just offering them the space to be able to compete in a safe and equitable space. Because I mean, again, and this is a problem more emblematic of esports, which is that it is a primarily male dominated field. I think there's only ever been one female Overwatch pro player. Shout out Geggery, been a supporter since day one. She was on the Shanghai Dragons, and I mean, she crushed it. And now you'll see content creators like SK, Aramori, so many others who are female, trans, and others who are non-binary, gender non-conforming, and just really, really wonderful representations of the community. But then you'll also see people like, unfortunately, XQC. I'm sure you have at least heard of XQC, right?
I think it sounds familiar.
Yeah, he was formerly an Overwatch pro player, and now he's just a live streamer and millions and millions of views, and has been unfortunately negative towards a lot of issues, and just reacting in ways that is not empathetic towards certain major key topics or issues. Again, he's been getting better with a lot of issues, but like it's kind of emblematic of like definitely that male dominated space that people still look to even problematic individuals before they'll even look to someone like SK, or again like Aramori, or like who is openly queer, and anyone who's openly LGBTQIA plus in the gaming community. So it's a big issue.
And also, I mean, and to expand onto the Magic community, you have the big channels like, and this is only going to make any sense to any Magic player, you have Kyle Hill, Tolarian Community College, the Command Zone, EDH Hijinks, Commander at Home. Every single one of those teams has either female representation. I know the professor with Tolarian Community College has multiple people that are gender nonconforming, any of them, just I'm too many to name, on their team, and they work with them, and they're some of my best friends. Bobby Christine's one of the ones that works with the professor, and he's the largest of the Magic channels. Even Wizards of the Coast, for all the things they do wrong, and God, that's an entire episode. They have an entire ban list for Magic the Gathering that are what are called culturally problematic. Big one on the list is imposed prejudice. Not a pretty card. That's banned from even ever being mentioned in the game. If an artist shows up and is hateful, homophobic, transphobic, racist, any of those, the artist is banned from making art for the set, for any set. They're gone. And that happens all the time. But also the people left behind are some of the most incredible people imaginable. But for, at least for Magic's point of view, being LGBTQ plus friendly is profitable. And they know that. And they're being very open to protect us.
Crazy
even
how
to
being a good person will net you good people in your community and people who want to support what you do, right?
I mean, I know the rules on Commander Sealed, which is the tournament. We have a tournament in Rochester called Commander Sealed, and it's a two-team format where one team is sponsoring Trevor Project, one is sponsoring Trans Lifeline. In the rules, if you misgender someone purposefully, and I do say purposefully, I've had someone make mistakes in games, and I correct them and they correct. But if you purposefully and repeatedly misgender or show any hate to a player, you are banned. You are disqualified, banned, removed, period. No refund, get the fuck out. And it shows. That environment is so comfortable for everybody because we don't have to worry about the guy sitting next to us all of a sudden deciding they want to misgender me an entire tournament. I've had that happen where if I just called judge, this person's doing this to me, they will walk over and go get out and escort them out of the property. And it's amazing to see it happen. Not amazing to see it happen. I don't ever want to see it happen because I'd like someone to just, not be an asshole, but it's nice to know that the protection is there. And this goes for, I think,
cared for.
I think any of the Magic tournaments, if you show that level of disrespect, you're gone. And if the community finds out, you're socially gone. Like, you don't last very long. You end up in those groups where you're basically supporting Joe Rogan and showing up in the first hateful video on the list.
Yep.
But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely right. And like that's the whole thing is like if you have an accessible community, a community that is accessible to more people, you will get more people in your community by virtue of being more accessible. Like the whole thing is gaming and esports and the furry community is it's all about the accessibility, right? It's about, with traditional athletics is the thing that I compare esports the most to because it's the closest thing we have, especially at the collegiate level.
Oh, it's 100% athletics. I mean, no matter how you look at it, this is where I'm going to stay on that soapbox, probably same as you. Esports is sports. It's no different. The amount of training, I don't just wake up and start making Magic decks. It's taken me decades to get to where I'm at. You don't just wake up and know how to do it. It takes practice and training. So yeah, sport.
It is a sport. There is a sport in esports. Yeah. Despite that, it functions entirely differently than any traditional sport, right? You don't need to. One of the things was at the institution where I work, which shall remain anonymous for the purposes of the podcast and everything. Like at the institution that I work at, we just did away with traditional athletics testing because we aren't governed by NCAA, right? So all the NCAA actually voted on esports and they said, we don't want anything to do with it because it's not our wheelhouse. We don't know enough about it. So there's currently no overarching governing body for collegiate esports. And so as a result, we were able to do away with a lot of the less applicable aspects of NCAA regulation, such as concussion testing. You don't need to get concussion tested to sit at a computer.
I don't know. Have you ever slammed your head on a keyboard?
Yes, I have, absolutely. Okay. But I'd like to think that is that at that point that would be self-inflicted. That's fully within your own control. And so, like, if you don't have to adhere to these guidelines for concussions and for disability status and gender identity, I mean, there's been so many conversations about non-binary and transgender individuals competing in the NCAA at the high school and collegiate level and such and so on. But with esports, it's not a male or a female team. It's not men's or women's soccer. It's not lacrosse. It's nothing like that. You come in, you sit down, you pick up a keyboard and mouse and you play, or a controller if that's your deal. Yeah. It's accessible to anyone. I've seen people who have gone on to compete in esports who are in a wheelchair. There is an institution that I have recruited from that has made deaf esports accessible through sign language interpreters, live streaming adjustments, and it's the coolest thing to watch.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
It's so awesome. And that's the thing that gets me so jazzed about esports, is because it's accessible to everyone. Anyone can do it. It's this beautiful thing. And that's why I got involved with the furry community too, because anyone can do it. It's beautiful. It's so wonderful.
Yeah. Coming from the wife of an EC teacher, that sounds absolutely fucking incredible. And I'm game. Yeah.
It's amazing. And
I just heard my wife's ears perk up. That is the extremely funny thing. I'll tell you later, honey. She's flicking me off.
Oh, it's so lovely. And like to kind of wrap this together, I mean, Sonic Fox, one of the biggest names in the gaming community, in the fighting game community, an openly queer furry and one of the best fighting game players of all time, literally accepted a trophy at the 2018 Game Awards in a fursuit.
I remember seeing that.
It is incredible to just see, and the representation is so there. It's beautiful. I mean, Sonic Fox, they've been consistently showing up. They're so outspoken and supportive of the community. There are people even across collegiate esports programs that I interact with regularly who are furries and have fursonas and who go to events. And like, there's so much overlap between the communities because of the accessibility, because of the nicheness of the hobby, because it caters to nerds, right? Like as much as I've been skirting around, it caters to nerds. It's nerd culture to a certain degree. There's a lot of love across all the communities. The LGBTQIA plus community, the furry community, the esports and gaming communities, and really, like, we're all just here to hold each other up, right?
Yeah. I'm reading through the list of things too, and like the VTubers, those are, I mean, even just in that group, you have
you got a powerhouse of people in that group.
Yeah, you have Ruby the Charity Goblin. You have, even to the extent of like Joe Cat, which I don't know if he's furry. I'm claiming him. I'm personally claiming him.
Wow.
We have similar tastes in women.
I put in there the Sheba Squad. That's a known one. Majira Strawberry, Picari Rube was mentioned.
Oh, I love
that one.
Picari.
Beta Ada Deletta. I don't know who they are, but I thought, I'll just mention them.
I love Picari with every ounce of my soul, and Ash Cody is absolutely incredible.
That was such a fun interview to do, Pocari. Oh my gosh.
I cannot. We need to do it again because I have not spoken to Picari in ages. I had to drop out of being a Patreon of hers. Are theirs? I want to talk to them again. I miss talking to them. And are they married yet?
I don't know.
I know they're engaged.
I saw they're really cool.
Now to check.
I've been told that we should get Majira Strawberry onto our show to chat with them.
That'd be a fun one.
Yeah. We get a lot of requests for different people. The question is do they actually want to come on the show? Which is surprisingly really hard, because sometimes, I mean, what I can do is I can go and knock on their door and say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I represent. Fans want to have you on the show. And sometimes they just flat out say no for no reason. And I'm just like, okay, well, on to the next person.
I wonder if that insane duchy in North Carolina is still available. Ruby! You could just convince us why y'all had me here. I'll come back.
Where are we at?
I think we're down to speaking of accessibility.
Yeah, I was touching on this already. Definitely, with like how accessible everything is. I was talking about like the deaf esports and how it's accessible to anyone, regardless of disability status as well.
Did you say deaf esports?
Yeah,
deaf, DEAF. Yes.
Okay.
Deaf and hard of hearing, where they have ASL interpreters, sign language interpreters, to display the call outs, and they will stand with a headset on and like sign what's going on so that the people who are looking at the screen can see and can hear the call outs from their teammates. And obviously
That is
we have the
so
sound-
cool.
That is
so cool.
insane.
That
And
would
we have
be
the closed
so much fun to
captioning.
watch. Oh,
Oh gosh, it's incredible. And like they I've seen live streams where they have ASL interpreters, and it makes me so happy every single time.
Mhm.
And like the biggest thing is just be kind to people. Like really, that's what all the communities are about. Is just being kind and accepting and open. Some of my colleagues are making huge strides for DEI and esports, and I mean that's a big term that gets thrown around of like diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's this whole big thing banned in Florida again, right? But like it's huge because esports is one of the, like I keep saying, one of those open and accepting and accessible communities. And to pretend like it isn't, or to gatekeep, or to not offer equitable experiences for anyone is disingenuous. It's disrespectful and it's harmful. And like really, it's just the evolution of all the communities needs to. It doesn't need to be, but it is slowly becoming hand in hand, where nerd culture is expanding and growing out, and everyone is becoming more intertwined. Every community has people from different areas, different backgrounds, and different experiences, and it's just making everyone better. Really,
I mean, it's one of those basic things of it makes no sense to exclude anybody, because the more people who can come to the table to play, the more people there are to play. It's the ultimate way to keep a thing going, unless you just want to hate people for the sake of hating people, and you're, lack of better terms, afraid of getting shown up. So,
yeah. And yeah, again, it comes back to what we were talking about before, where it's internalized homophobia, misogyny, transphobia, and misconceptions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just like teaching people and being willing to have conversations and sit down and say, hey, what is it like to be a furry? What does that mean to you? It's different for everyone, and everyone has their own perspectives and thoughts, their own stonas, right? Like that's the whole thing, is everyone has their own existence and their own experiences to draw from, literally and figuratively, right? And just have the conversations, be kind and like listening, and fight against the harmful, fight against the people who are trying to gatekeep, who are trying to prevent people from coming in and having a good time on the basis of LGBTQIA plus affiliation, disability status, all of these things. Just be kind, right? Be open. So
100% agree.
I think when it comes to like furry hate in general, or when people, I love hearing the reason why people think furries are the way they are. I had an experience at work where I had like furry art on my desk and stuff, like, not like PG stuff. But she came across and she's like something like, oh, those furries, they're so gross, and they do sex in fursuits. And I'm like, I'm just going to take the opportunity. Where did you find this information? And they're like, well, I heard from a person. And I'm like, and what do you think of it? She said, well, there's those kids that, use the litter bucket at school. And I'm like, okay,
oh God,
that's interesting.
I hate that story.
And then
so fake.
She's like,
I've had to go up against, you have no idea how many people I've had to go up against for that topic alone.
Well, so then I asked her, I'm like, it's like, what do you personally think? She's like, I don't really know what to think about it. And I'm like, what would you think if I told you I was a furry? And she's like, are you? And I'm like, I am. But as you see me here, I am not anything that you described. So isn't that interesting? And she's like, well, then what's the whole deal? And I took the time to like explain to her, like, look, like this is the community. This is, what we represent, how we self-create for ourselves. And I told her in the end, when it comes to things that you don't know, like the answer to, try to do the research and look into it and look at it from both angles instead of just coming up with a solid opinion based off of what a friend of a friend of a friend said. She's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, and I am a furry and I'm proud of it. And I mean, if people ask me, I tell them what it is. And if they ask me if it's those people who have sex in fursuits, I say, well, some people do. I don't ignore it. But I do I take the time
if
to
they
educate.
want to both blow $3-4 grand on a video they can post once or twice, go for it. Have fun.
Why not?
Yeah, enjoy it.
Right.
I don't have that much money to blow.
I think what really helps our community is educating, and not denying. Like, of course, if someone says, "Well, the furries to have that sexual thing," well, don't deny it. It happens in every fandom. But the whole key thing here is saying, well, that's just a part of the culture. That's not the whole culture. Let me have an opportunity to tell you about the culture. And that in itself will give us a better chance to thrive when it comes to hate. Yeah. Any
Because
last...
we're all kind people, right?
Yeah.
We're all just people. We're all just trying to make our way in this weird little game we call life. So, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, it's totally fine. When it comes to topics about LGBTQ plus, what's the IA? Is that a new?
That's why I never know which one to go with. Like
every year they add a new letter.
Yeah, it's the DEI in me is just like, this is the acronym, is LGBTQIA plus is the whole 9 that we tend to use. But again, it's the plus includes so much else that even if you just say LGBTQ plus, I personally feel like it encompasses a lot. I think the I is intersex and the A is asexual. Okay. I don't know what the A is, but I know that the I is intersex.
But I think you're right about A being ace.
I am biologically intersex. However, I do not identify as intersex. So interesting.
Which is why we included you in the Women's History Month episode.
Yay!
I told you we needed the full collection.
I have it. I talk about it when it comes up, but I have, how like guys are what, XX or XY, and girls are XX. But I have an extra chromosome. I am XXY. So with that, it makes me technically intersex, but it comes with a whole load of issues. So
yeah.
But when it comes to talking about the LGBTQIA plus community, always remember, it's going to be an uphill battle. We're always going to have to fight for what's right. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sure, it gets tiring, but I think in the end, it's more rewarding. So I always say go for it. Battle for what you think is worth fighting for. I think the community is definitely one of those things. I think the furry community is definitely worth fighting for. So
definitely.
Yeah.
And also, just to anyone out there, any of the haters that you hear, see, watch, unlucky enough to come across, they might seem like the majority. It is simply because they are extremely loud. They are vastly outnumbered. There's far more support out there than hate. There always will be. It's just sad that you hear hate, anger, and violence gets more headlines because it draws people in a lot more than kindness. But the ones that are loud and being hateful are very much outnumbered. And there's way more people that are willing to be kind and helpful than there ever will be people who are trying to be hateful.
And if you need a team of people to help you take on some of these people, I can name 2 communities, the dads and the Sonic community. They'll go after anyone. God, it's for real though, they will. But yeah, that's my spiel.
Yep.
Any last words?
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, that was great having you. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great to talk about esports. I will always love to talk about, this culture that I'm so fond of and that I love so dearly and has become such a big aspect of my life. I didn't know that I was going to be working in esports and gaming when I was, 15, 16. It wasn't until I was in college that I got involved, but it's just been nothing but a welcoming and kind community. And again, I only just joined the furry community within the past year or so. But again, it's that same experience of just lovely, welcoming openness and kindness. So, thank you to the 2 of you, Space Bear and Ruby, for having me on here and for being such
it was awesome.
Welcoming and kind individuals. And thank you to anyone out there who's involved in gaming and esports, the furry community, and who's members of the LGBTQIA plus community. Y'all are fighting the good fight, and you're doing the communities proud. We love you.
I love doing what I do. I can just say that with a passion. I love the fact that we get to have guests like you come on and tell your story and get involved with specific topics. I love bringing this type of energy to our listeners. And it's even more tenfold when they email back and they're like, you have no idea how this has impacted my life. And I'll be honest, I do read those and I just go, and I just like, I cry with joy because I'm like, I've touched someone and I'm just so happy that what we do is so great. So
admit it, we just need the wholesome episodes between the smash and pass monsters.
Haven't we done that already?
We have. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Okay.
It was Smash or Pass Halloween monsters. I remember that episode. I was in it.
We should do another one.
Every time.
Jeez, it's so amazing. Well, to bring this episode to an end, I want to thank you, Phos, for coming on and taking the time to do so.
That was awesome. Thank you for coming.
I know that it's late where you are, but I greatly appreciate it. And of course, Ruby, thank you for coming on as well.
Any and every time you will have me.
I
don't have a life.
Neither do I. I went to work. I came home. I was right on my computer.
Gamers never sleep. I've been on my computer since like 10 a.m.
We never stop. I personally never stop thinking. I'm always like, what's the next thing I can do? What's the next topic?
Oh, no. I knew
it's
not to schedule any
on.
streams tonight because I knew we would be talking forever.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, and thanks to our listeners that always like to listen in and being patient with us, putting our episodes out and all that jazz. Pride Month is my favorite month because that means I get to be me. I mean, I'm me all the time, every Friday. And this is just something you all can do this too if you want to, but I do this as like a personal kind of like celebration. Every Friday, I wear bright colors at work. I have a rainbow watch. I have a rainbow ring. I have rainbow glasses. And I do that every Friday. And it brings, actually, because I work in a hospital, it brings a lot of joy to people's eyes to see me coming up because they're like, you're just so bright and colorful. And I love seeing you smile. And I'm like, and that's why I do it, So celebrate Pride however you want to. Take part in the events. Go to a Pride parade if you want. But really,
be safe.
Be safe, please.
God.
Happy Pride,
Yep. And don't get tied up in those protesters out there. It's not worth your time. So, but anyway, everyone, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys on our next episode.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.